Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today it is all about how to grow and care for Agave marmorata. The Agave marmorata is a species of agave that can be found in Mexico and the southwestern United States. It's commonly referred to as marbled agave or marbled century plant because of its beautiful leaf markings. White bands cover the surface of the green leaves, giving off a marbled appearance. An individual plant usually forms a single, large rosette of broad, robust, gently curving succulent leaves. Their edges are lined with sharp teeth that can injure on contact. Agave marmorata is an easy-to-grow, drought-tolerant succulent quite forgiving of neglect. It's ideal for adding height and interest to your landscape. Agave marmorata can grow up to 4 feet tall, but usually stay smaller in container gardens. In addition to their striking coloration and elegant form, these agaves make excellent focal points in the garden or indoors as decorative plants. Agave marmorata is a succulent that grows well in full sun or light shade. It can tolerate full sun in the summer, but it will grow best with some protection from the hottest afternoon heat. Plant the agave in a location that gets at least 6 hours of direct sun each day. Agave marmorata grows best in soil that drains well. It prefers sandy, loamy soil that is neutral or slightly alkaline. If you have poor drainage, add some inorganic matter to the soil. This will help to improve drainage and prevent the roots from rotting. Avoid overwatering the agave. The plant likes to be watered deeply and infrequently. If the soil is dry 1 inch below the surface, water thoroughly until it drains from below. It is extremely drought tolerant and will survive without water for extended periods. In winter, you can reduce the watering cadence to once a month. Agave marmorata does not require fertilizer, but if you want to increase its vigor, you can use a balanced fertilizer. However, do not over-fertilize. This could cause salt buildup in the soil and kill your plant. Try to only feed the agave once during the plant's first year of growth, and then once every 3 years after that. Avoid fertilizing in the cold months, and only do so during the growing season. Agave marmorata prefers temperatures between 55 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it does not tolerate frost, so you may need to protect it from cold temperatures if you live in a colder climate. You should keep room humidity around average levels of around 50%. If it gets too high, you may notice the leaves drooping. If this is the case, increase the ventilation. Agave marmorata is a typical agave plant and doesn't need much pruning. You can remove dead leaves and spent flower spikes if they begin to look unsightly, but otherwise, leave your plant alone. Agave marmorata is a slow-growing plant that can stay in the same pot for years. However, if you want to move your plant to a larger container or change its location, you can do so without worrying about stressing it. When repotting, avoid using soil treated with chemicals or fertilizers. Only repot in the spring when the growing season is just around the corner. The pot should be at least a couple of inches wider than the original container and have drainage holes in the bottom. Prepare the soil. The soil should be light and well-draining. You can use a cactus mix available at most garden centers. Place the agave in a location that receives at least 6 hours of direct sunlight daily. Remove the pot from the plant. Put some soil near the bottom of your chosen container. Place the plant into the container and gently fill in around it with more soil. Water your plant thoroughly and let it drain before returning it to its normal position in the garden or on a patio. Agave marmorata can be propagated by offsets. If you have a plant producing offsets, you can use them to propagate new plants. Offsets are small plants that grow from the base of mature agave plants and look like miniature versions of their parents. Luckily for us, Agave marmorata is known for producing plenty of offsets throughout its lifetime that you can use for propagation. To propagate from an offset, Separate it from the parent plant and pot it in a soil container. Don't forget to give the cuttings some time to callus over before repotting, though, as this is important to avoid root rot early on. Water deeply and allow everything to drain out. Keep the pot in a sunny and warm location and wait for new growth. Agave marmorata is monocarpic, which means that it will only produce one large flowering stalk in its lifetime before dying. The flowering of an agave marmorata can take between 7 and 15 years to occur, as the plant has to mature enough to handle the stress. A gigantic 20-foot-tall stalk emerges from the center of the rosette once it's time and sends up large yellow gold flowers that attract pollinators of various kinds to the garden. It's a spectacle. Agave marmorata is mildly toxic. The sap can cause skin irritation, and the leaves are poisonous if ingested. Agave snout weevils, scale insects, and slugs and snails are the most common pests of these plants. Agave snout weevil will chew on the leaves of your agave marmorata, making small holes in them and ruining the appearance of your plant. The weevils can be controlled by hand-picking or using insecticidal soap to kill them off. Scale insects are small bugs that attach themselves to the leaves of your agave marmorata and suck the juices out of it. You'll see small bumps on the leaves, which are the insects themselves. They can be removed by hand or with insecticidal soap. Slugs and snails will devour the leaves of your agave marmorata. They can be controlled by hand-picking or using snail bait to kill them off. Please note and avoid overwatering the plant, placing it under harsh sunlight, using poorly drained potting mediums, and fertilizing during the dormancy period. Root rot, sunburn, and frostburn are some of the common problems of these plants. Root rot is a fungal disease that causes browning or rotting of the roots. You can control it by adding mulch around your agave marmorata to keep moisture from collecting in the potting medium, which can lead to rot. You can also prevent root rot by using well-draining soil with plenty of inorganic matter. Sunburn occurs when the leaves of your agave are exposed to too much sun. You can prevent sunburn by providing shade during hot weather, especially if your plant is not used to the full sun. Frostburn occurs when temperatures drop below freezing and your agave marmorata is exposed to the cold. You can prevent frostburn by covering your plant with an insulating blanket or wrapping it in burlap after the first hard freeze of the year.